Hello everyone, welcome back. What we are going to learn in this video is how to create a freestyle job in order to automate the build process as well as deployment process of a Java application into a Tomcat environment. That's a simple lab exercise what we are going to learn. Awesome. So let's get started. If you look at this diagram, I have already set up a Java project in GitHub. So this is my GitHub repository where I have set up a simple Java application. This is not a microservice, but it's a simple Java application. And then I also have set up Jenkins, which has Maven installed as well. So this is my Jenkins server, which is running on port 8080. And then I also have set up my Tomcat environment as well. So this is my Tomcat. So this is running on port 8080 as well. And then we are going to integrate with JaCoCo. So this is it's an open source code coverage tool for running through a Java application, and then it will find how much of the code coverage that application is having. Okay, so basically we are going to check out the code using Maven, build the code using Maven, and then deploy the Java application into Tomcat environment. And then before deploy, just run the code coverage check as well. Okay, so basically we are going to implement continuous integration in order to automate the build process, automate the code coverage check, and then automate the deployment process as well. Okay, so that's exactly what we are going to learn in this video. Awesome. So let's get started. So if you look at the prerequisites, yes, we need to have Jenkins up and running, Tomcat up and running. If you would like to know how to set up Jenkins, you can definitely click on this link. So this talks about how to set up Jenkins. So you can use AWS Cloud or Azure Cloud, but this specific instruction, it should work for any environment, but I have set up in AWS Cloud. I have set up both my Jenkins and Tomcat in AWS Cloud environment. Okay. And the same thing, if you also know how to set up Tomcat as well, click on this link. So this talks about how to set up Tomcat server as well, which is an open source server where you can deploy your Java based applications into Tomcat server. So this is what I have followed. Just one thing to note, I have configured a username and password in Tomcat. So if you see here, there is a file called tomcat user.xml file. So this is where I have configured username as Tomcat and password as a password. Okay, so that's what I have done. Wonderful. Okay, and then yes, we need to make sure that configure Maven, right? So we need to tell Jenkins where Maven is configured. So like I said, I have already installed Maven in the Jenkins server. We just need to configure it. So the way you can configure that is log in into Jenkins and then go to Manage Jenkins, Global Tool Configuration. And then click on Maven installation. Okay. So right now, as you can see here, so this is how I have configured Maven. But if you want, I can show you. I have already configured, but let me show you. So click on Add Maven, say Maven 3, because that is the version. We have already installed Maven. So I'm going to use the path of where Maven is actually installed. You can easily find out. Let me quickly log into Jenkins, go to connect. Example, copy this SSH, copy this whole URL and then go to Jenkins. So this is a Jenkins instance. If I say Maven V, so this is going to tell me where I have installed Maven. So just copy this path. Okay, so go ahead and then enter that. So that's it, right? So basically you're declaring a variable and then you're storing where Maven is stored. That's it. Apply and save. Perfect. So we did take care of that. And then we need to install a few plugins, because if you look at this diagram, Jenkins is going to run some code coverage check using JaCoCo, and then Jenkins also going to deploy into Tomcat server. So we'll have to install respective plugins. So how will you install? It's very simple. If you see here, we have to install deploy to container plugin and then JaCoCo plugin. So go to manage Jenkins, manage plugins, go to available tab, type deploy. There you go. So this is the plugin we would like to install, deploy to container plugin. Select that one, and then we also want to install JaCoCo plugin. So type JaCoCo and then install these plugins. So these two plugins we are going to install. So make sure you select both of them and then click on install without restart. So right now these plugins are being installed. That should not take much time. And we don't have to restart Jenkins. If you want, you can do it, but we don't have to restart. Okay, perfect. Let's go to dashboard. Awesome. So we took care of all the prerequisites. We did configure Maven, and then we also install these two plugins as well. Perfect. Now what we are going to do, we are going to go ahead and then create a freestyle job in Jenkins in order to check out the code, build the code, and then check with JaCoCo for code coverage check, and then finally deploy into a Tomcat environment. Okay, wonderful. So let's create a freestyle job. So click on this particular link, create a job. So we are going to give some name. So let's say my first automate job. Click on freestyle project and say okay. So now the job got created. So click on source code management, because where is our source code? Our source code is in GitHub. So this is our source code. So copy this URL. Okay, and then click on Git. Enter the repository URL. Perfect. So now we got some error. Why? Because Jenkins is trying to check out the code from GitHub, but we have not provided any credentials. We should not use GitHub password. We have to use personal access token. Okay, so we'll have to create that. So let's go to GitHub. Let's quickly create personal access token. Go to settings, go to developer settings, click on personal access token. Let me quickly create a token. So click on generate new token. Okay, so I'm going to give some token here. Okay, so you can mention however you want to expire. I'm going to give full control of all the repository and then go ahead and then generate token. So this is the token. So copy this token. And then we have to enter the token here. Click on add Jenkins. The username is my GitHub username. And that is my the password, which is nothing but the token what we have generated. Okay, so here I'm going to say entered GitHub personal access token. Click on add, and then we are going to select that from the drop down. Okay, I don't want to save that. Okay, wonderful. You see now, so the error is completely gone away. Make sure you select from the drop down. If you don't select from the drop down, even though you entered credential, that will not work. So after you enter the credential, make sure you select it like that. Awesome. So now the error is gone. And then we have to specify what is the branch name. So if we go to our repository, so what is the branch name? So this is the branch name, which is main. So let's mention that instead of master, we are going to say main. Okay, so perfect. So that is the first step. Okay, and then let's go to the second step. So this talks about how to trigger the build, right? So there are many ways you can trigger your Jenkins build. So if you look at here, I do have a good diagram here, so which talks about there are several ways you can trigger your build job in Jenkins. So the first option is using PolySCM. This is more like a scheduler. The second option is using webhooks. Okay, so where it is going to trigger the job instantly. The third option is you can also kickstart Jenkins build job using Slack channel as well. Or the fourth option is, one Jenkins job also can trigger another Jenkins job as well. But we are going to go with a simple option, which is like a PolySCM, which is more like a scheduling, right? So let's go here, and then I'm going to click on this option. And then if you click on the question mark, so they are going to give you all these possible options, right? Let me just copy this one for now. So this is going to trigger once in every 15 minutes. So that is the example. I'm going to copy that, but I don't want to do once in every 15 minutes. I want to do, let's say, once in every 2 minutes. So let's put that, and then rest everything, leave it like that. Perfect. Okay. And then how are we going to build our Java application? Our application technology stack is Java, right? But how are you going to build the Java based application? We are going to use Maven. Okay, so remember we have already configured Maven, right? So go to the add build step, select invoke top level Maven targets. So if you remember, we already registered Maven, right? Under Maven 3. So let's select that. And then it is asking for the Maven goal. So you can enter something like clean install. So clean is nothing but that is going to clean the workspace every time it is going to do a build. And then install is nothing but it is going to build. It's going to compile build as a WAR file, and then it is going to keep it in the local repository, local Maven repository. Okay, so this is fine. So let's go with this option. And then we have to tell Maven where the pom.xml file exists. If you look at here, this is our repo. This is my Java application. It's called my web app. And if you see here, I do have pom.xml file, which is inside my web app. Okay, so we just need to let Maven know where this pom.xml file resides. So it resides under this folder, right? My web app. So let's go to Jenkins, click on advanced, and then here you're going to enter the the pom.xml file path, which is inside my web app and /pom.xml file. Okay, so guys, everything is case sensitive, so make sure you follow that. Okay, wonderful. So that's it. Okay, and then so this will take care of the building, right? And then we have to do JaCoCo integration, right? So go to add post bill action, and then you all see this option called record JaCoCo coverage report. So let's select that one. So that should take care of providing all the code coverage report. That's all. We just have to enable that, and then we are going to go ahead and then deploy the WAR file into a Tomcat environment, right? So let's click on this button and then go to deploy WAR/here to a container, because we would like to deploy into a Tomcat server, right? So this is the section where we have to provide all those information. So if you see here, Maven is going to build a WAR file, and then it is going to, Jenkins is going to use that WAR file to deploy into Tomcat, right? So we have to mention because the WAR file is going to be in that folder, and I will show you actually. Okay, so during that build, I will show you where that this is actually coming from. Okay, and then we are going to deploy into Tomcat. So select Tomcat 9 because that is what we have installed. And then here it is asking for Tomcat credentials. So if you guys remember, we did select the username as Tomcat, password as a password, right? So we have to enter that particular credential. So let me click on add Jenkins. The username is Tomcat, all lowercase. Password is password. And then we are going to say Tomcat credentials. Okay, and then click on add, and then we have to select that from the drop down. Okay, awesome. And then what is the Tomcat URL? So this is the Tomcat URL. Okay, so I'm going to copy that and then paste the Tomcat URL over here. Wonderful, right? So I think that's pretty much over there. So let me quickly review the configuration. So again, this is the basic freestyle job. Under source code management, we are checking out the code from GitHub. So this is a GitHub URL, and then we have entered GitHub username and then GitHub personal access token. We have provided the branch name, which is main, and then we would like to trigger using poll SCM, which is more like a scheduler. So Jenkins would check with GitHub if there is a code change, right? Once in every 2 minutes, this would check, and then if there is a code change, and then it will trigger the bill. And then we would like to use Maven for building the Java application, and then this is the path of pom.xml file. And then we are also integrating with the JaCoCo for measuring the code coverage of this simple Java application. I know we don't have a whole lot of coding over there. And then this is for deploying the Java war file into a Tomcat environment. Okay, so that's it, right? So let's click on apply and save. Let's go ahead and then click on build now. I know I'm kickstarting manually, but I just want to make sure that everything is working fine before we can, automate this, right? By making a code change and all, okay? But I just wanted to make sure that this is really working. So click on the console output. Wow, look at here. So basically we already got, green tick here. It says that everything is success. But if you look at here, this is the Jenkins console output. And then if you look at here, where Maven is keeping the war file, right? Look at here. So this is where Maven is keeping the war file. So that's the reason why we have to specify, the war file location like that, right? So you see here, so this is where it is keeping the war file. And then it is also collecting JaCoCo report. And then finally, Jenkins was able to deploy into a Tomcat. So we can quickly check the output. So you can go and say my web app. Wow, there you go. You see here. So we are able to see the output of our Java application, right? Over here. So of course we did, click build now in order to run the build manually. But let me quickly make a code change, and then let's see how this actually triggers a build. Okay. So let me go to GitHub. Let me click on my web app, click on src main web app, index.jsp. Let me edit this file. I don't recommend, making a code change directly in the GitHub UI, but just for testing purpose, we are actually doing it. So let's make some code change here, right? So I'm going to say welcome to Freestyle Job. So I'm going to say testing CI, or we can say implementing CI. Implementing CI stand for continuous integration. Implementing CI using Jenkins, Tomcat, Maven, and GitHub. And then let me add one more line as well here. And then I would like to say we are triggering build using poll SCM option, right? At least for now. Okay. So I'm going to say making a code change to trigger Jenkins job. So I committed the code change. Wonderful. And then if I go to Jenkins, so I'm not clicking on anything. Let me just click on this job name. I'm not clicking on anything. So what Jenkins will do is it will check with GitHub if there is a code change, and then it will start building the code, right? So this will check once in every 2 minutes. So within 2 minutes, anytime it finds a code change, it is going to go ahead and trigger the automated build process. Okay, so let's find out right now. So while we are waiting, if you look at here, it also updated the code coverage, right, as part of the previous job. Okay, I know we did not see it, but we will see right after this ran the build. Okay, so let's see. You all see here, it already started the automated build. So click on this one. There you go. You see here, it says that started by an SCM change, right? It says that this means that it detected the SCM stands for source code management. Wow, look at here. So it was able to check out, build and everything. Okay, awesome, right? And then this is the code coverage report. So just click on here. So this will show you the JaCoCo code coverage report, right? This is very simple to show, right? And then we should be able to check the output as well. Let's go to Tomcat. Just refresh here. Wow, there you go. You see guys, so we are able to see the code change what we have done, right? So yeah, so this is how guys, this is how you can create a freestyle job using Jenkins and then automate build and deployment using Jenkins into a Tomcat server. Thank you for watching this video guys.